How's it going, everybody? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today I want to think about some reasons why you should be coin collecting. And you can be on either side of the spectrum, either being a collector already, in which case this video could be useful in the sense that you could think about different ways that you could be appreciating the hobby, getting involved with it, that sort of thing. And then on the other hand, if you're somebody who has never coin collected or really thought about the hobby, hopefully this could convince you to start, because there's a lot of cool things that can be gained from starting a coin collection, whether that's something on the monetary side or on the kind of knowledge side or on the fun side. There's tons of different ways to be involved and gain from it. So let's get into the video. Now, one thing before we start, I do want to say, if you're thinking, I don't have a ton of money to start coin collecting, which is a valid question to have, that's really not something that you should be worrying about. There's tons of ways, and I'll include a little section on it, but why it's really not something that you need to spend a lot of money. Believe me, you can do it if you want. You can spend a lot of money if that's something that you have, but there's tons of ways to coin collect on a budget. Probably going to have a video on that coming out soon, but there's also some tips that I'll just offer within the video. So for our first reason that I want to discuss, and it's a great reason, is you can learn a ton about history by collecting coins. It's one of the ones I really enjoy, that perspective on it. I think that I've learned just a ton about the history of money and the history depicted on our coins. There's so many important features. I can think if I'm studying different notes from American history, there's just a lot of small minor figures that I've gotten to know a lot more about. When I'm dealing with coins, there's tons of different people and features that are on the coins, and if you look into the history of why coins changed the way they did, you uncover a lot about the different circumstances going on. You think back to World War II, just as a basic example. We switched our pennies to a steel and zinc based composition in 1943, and from 1942 to 1945, in World War II, we switched our nickel to a 35% silver composition so that we could save 25% of the old nickels were made out of the metal called nickel, and that was really essential for the war effort. So that's just one example of a big trend that happened during history that if you know about coins, you'll kind of understand the ramifications of something like World War II. But there's tons more than just that one little bit of fact, especially as you get into the world coins. You learn a ton about, I can think of how the Soviet Union had impact on the different monetary systems, what came before it, what came after it. If you look at the euro, how the euro replaced the different currencies in Europe. So tons of stuff, and there's way more that I could get into, but you'll learn a ton about history and our place that you have in the world relative to the rest of the world and kind of what's been going on for centuries in terms of trends in the coins. Going along with that, for reason number 2, I'd say it's important to appreciate precious metals and the wealth that's backed up by coins. Obviously, there's a lot of coins that are pretty expensive. There's a lot of coins that have metals, like specifically silver and gold, and to understand the place that those have in our society. I think that there's a lot to be said about increasing financial awareness and financial literacy in the population, kind of understanding how to save money, understanding what place these metals have held throughout our history, but just in governmental policy, that sort of thing, what the different trends backing the prices of silver and backing the prices of gold, why they were used. There's a lot to learn in that sense as well. And having an appreciation for silver, gold, these other metals that are important and scarce and have important roles in our society, I think it's good. And obviously silver and gold have been part of the monetary system for a long time. So just along with understanding things like stocks, understanding things like real estate, all those sorts of things, this can be a good path to increasing somebody's financial literacy if they understand what's backing the coins and how that has changed over the years. The third reason to collect coins, and this is a little bit controversial, I would say, is to earn a little bit of money. I think that even if you don't get it directly from coins, collecting coins will help you to earn money in the sense that, so the first obvious one is to own coins that then appreciate in value. I think that that's harder to do than it sounds, because there's people who have been hoarding certain coins for 50, 60 years that the coins maybe have gone up by 50%, and that's really not a good rate of growth, just objectively. So I think that it's misleading to tell anybody that they just should throw their money into coin collecting and that'll grow. I think that that's a myth that's propagated by people who are trying to sell coins quickly. But at the same time, I think that it's probably a good idea to have a certain small percentage of your overall portfolio in terms of investing in coins. And if you have no investments, to get into something, kind of getting you on that path of thinking about investing, thinking about saving money for the future, that's going to be something that's really valuable. And then so that's what I'm talking about when I say not directly. The whole concept of investing is pretty important. And if you can start by getting into coins, putting away money with the expectation that it'll grow, you shouldn't only be doing that with coins, but kind of starting to do that and starting to, again, appreciate the role of money, that can be really helpful in terms of setting up long-term financial independence. So those were some of the reasons that were super practical, though honestly it was mostly number 3. Number 4 is to appreciate the beauty on these coins. I mean, I just really think that the coins are gorgeous, and obviously a lot of that goes into the design, what's being depicted on the coins, and that makes it interesting for me as well. But there's some coins that are just physically such pieces of art. That's kind of how I look at them. I like them for the art value and the history value. And when you have some of these coins that have great reliefs, which is when they're struck with a lot of kind of detail, some of the bullion coins that I've been checking out recently, just enormous attention to detail, and they're really beautiful physical specimens that have been produced by these mints. I think that that's a big part of it, and as you complete a collection, there's things like luster and toning that can really add character to coins, but also just be visually very appealing and attractive. When backed up by something that's considered valuable, I think that it's a great combination, and once you start getting into coins and appreciating these coins, that can be a really fun part of it. Number 5 is something that I didn't really think about when I started coin collecting, but you definitely get a sense of accomplishment when you complete whatever you set out to complete. I think it's really fun to set goals within the scope of coin collecting. So you want to fulfill a certain set or put together kind of an exhibit for yourself that, you know, shows, going back to the World War II example, a wide variety of coins from the World War II era around the world. So say you set out and complete that, and it's a really cool testament to that history. But the bottom line is you get to fulfill goals, and that can be a really fun part of coin collecting, that in addition to just owning the coins and the process, when you get to a finished product, it can be really something that you're proud of accomplishing. Number 6 is that it's a great activity to do with your family. I know that when I was a really young kid, I got to collect coins with my dad. He does not really have a coin collection, but we would fill out folders of pennies together. I'm trying to think. Back here, I have an example. I did not play in the video, so hopefully, yeah. So this coin, it's got different dates that you can find, and then we'd look through our pocket change literally and try to like get all of the dates that are within the folder. So that was like a really fun way to connect with my dad. If you have kids, it could be a great way to do that. Grandkids, just kind of a fun hobby that has a lot of different other benefits while providing an opportunity to have fun family time. For sure, I know that's a big reason I think I started, because I just liked doing it with my dad. It was really fun, and it's grown into something a lot bigger that he didn't necessarily intend, but it was fun to just have that experience with him. So I'd recommend, if you have kids, again, it could be a great way for you guys to connect. Number 7 kind of goes with the making money thing, but it is a great opportunity for liquidity if you need to have assets on your person that you can then sell quickly. And there's the whole prepping thing, which is kind of valid. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but it can be good to have items of value that are on you. I don't have a really big collection. I just have a few coins that I'm pretty proud of that kind of go into what I was talking about with creating sets. So I more like it for the history. I like working around them, the business side, a little bit more than the collecting side. But there's definitely something to be said about owning these coins, and then I know that there's a compelling argument for people who want to pass down wealth quickly and quietly, that's also a good way to do that. A lot of people will consider coins and coin collecting in their estate planning. And the last 2 I'm going to group together, but that's making friends and having fun. So I've made a lot of friends through the coin world that I'll just hang out with, I'll talk to, and we're not always talking about coins. I'm just genuinely making friends with these people, hanging out, having a fun time, and getting to know cool people. When you have a friend through coins, it can be fun to talk about coins, but at the same time, that's probably not 100% of what everybody wants to be doing. There's a lot of good people that I've met who kind of come from similar perspectives as me and also different that I've just really appreciated having in my life and that I wouldn't have met if I was not involved with coins. I think it's a pretty positive hobby. There's not too many downsides to it. So getting really involved and enjoying it is great in its own respect. But then you get all these other benefits like greater appreciation for the world that we live in, greater understanding. That's another big one. Just kind of understanding the world and what makes it work. Money is a big part of that, and to kind of understand the origins is great. But then you also just get fun relationships with people who you get to know well initially because of coins, but then you just kind of care for them as friends. And following up on the having fun part, obviously you can do that through the things directly involved with coins, but then you also just get the awesome experiences that you might make that aren't related to coins that become possible because of your involvement with coins. So that pretty much brings it to a conclusion. I do want to address the budget part though briefly. So like I was saying back there with the folders, the folder probably costs like $5. If you buy a few of those and then just like start going through your pocket change, that's a really fun way to do it. Start to coin roll hunt. That's another really fun activity that I enjoy doing, and you don't lose any money. You might lose some time, but it's a hobby and you might make a little bit of money while you coin roll hunt. But more the fun part of that is that you get to be involved with coin collecting, get some cool coins, but you don't actually spend any money outside of maybe like $10, $20. I think that's pretty reasonable to expend when you start a hobby. I think if you can't spend $10 or $20, there's other hobbies that you can get into. But I've really enjoyed coin collecting, and I think that you guys will continue to enjoy it. If there's lots of ways to do that. You can go to coin shows, go to coin clubs that are local to you, or there's just a great community online on YouTube and on other coin forums to get involved with. And I just really recommend that you try it out and see how it goes, and probably and hopefully discover a new passion in the form of coin collecting. So with that being said, thanks for watching the video. I have a ton of other videos on the topic, obviously, and that you can check out if you're getting started with coin collecting or an experienced person. Looking forward to seeing you around the channel. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe even check out the merchandise below. I'd also, if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website, treasuretown.yt.com, my Instagram, treasuretown.yt, my Facebook, treasuretown, my Twitter, treasuretown.yt. All of those links are going to be in the description. And with that, I'll see you on my future videos.